I'm in, where am I? KPWK. Live time, so it's very, very early, but you can see the sky starting to go a tiny bit orange. But I've put it onto 1 hour offset, so that when we take off... Actually, do you know what? I'm tempted. Let's go live. Let's make it more fun. Let's stick with it. Yeah, 0 hours offset. Let's do it. We'll take off in the dark, land in the sunrise. We need to do a quick relocation flight of about 100 miles. We need to get ourselves to the final pickup. Thank you, Tenman. Yeah, I've put a bit more stuff into the rig. So I've kind of come up with a routing because we need to relocate to KFLD. Because KFLD is where the final job is. Hang on. Go back to pending jobs. There we go. Yeah, so we need to get to here, KFLD. And we're we're currently about here. So we're going to do a 100 nautical mile relocation flight, pick this stuff up, land in Canada, and then profit. That's what we're going to do. So the only... I've had a look to see if there's any jobs that we can take on the way, and there's not. Like, there's nothing on that 100 nautical mile stretch. What I haven't checked, though, is to see if there's anything else that we could take with us, because that only weighs 1,800 pounds, so we have got the potential to fly more stuff if there's anything that goes from FLD to CYZE. So we could have a quick look for that. You find the Kinga complicated? It ain't so bad. So nothing's showing up, annoyingly. But we can carry more stuff, which is really frustrating. How far is it from... It's 282 nautical and a heading of 6-1. So if you go for... maybe that. And then sort by heading. And look for something... That's a bit far. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that lands near where we're going. So we can kind of take it and then on the way. Or just afterwards. Wow, dangerous materials. Kind of depends how many hops you want to do, you know? Intox, thank you for 26 months. PJTR, thank you for 33. And Snookerman, welcome back for 43. Thank you, guys. Where do you find these paying jobs? When I fly, I can only find 2,000 jobs. I think it depends on your filters, Flip. If you're only flying a Cessna 172, you know, you've probably set the maximum payload that you can carry or the maximum passengers that you can carry. And that's what's giving you low-paying jobs. They're only high-paying jobs because, you know, that one's £5,000 worth of stuff, of weight, you know, which you can't carry in a Cessna 172. If you're in a Kinga, you can. So, you know, it depends how much cargo you're moving. Let's see, cargo distance 213. It's not looking brilliant. I mean, that's kind of halfway on the way almost. It's like a hop on the way. For an extra... Oh, it's 2 jobs though. Dang it. Frustrating. Looks like we're not going to get lucky on that one. Now let's go back to the longer distance stuff. See if there's anything that we can get. You see, we're going here, and that's like completely in the wrong direction. It's just not looking good. Looks like we're just going to have to fly with 1,800 pounds of stuff. Oh well. I was hoping we could bundle some more in, but it's not to be. Let's go back to the company. Back to me. Right, 663 for fuel. Do we load up here or do we wait for KFLD? That's the question. Let's just load up now. I've still got plenty of payload left. Left and right tanks filled. Got the correct tanks this time. No cargo available, so we're going to fly up. Relocation flight. 100 nautical. Let's get the fuel loaded. Destination is KFLD. So what I've done is I've gone into ForeFlight and picked this route. So we've got a nice route today for the turboprop, which goes here, and then the best runway is 27, but you can land on 36 with a slight crosswind, and 36 has an RNAV approach coming in, whereas 27 doesn't. So I've just gone vectors to final into 36. We'll have to see what we can do when we get in the plane. I'm not sure how. It might force us to pick an approach. I don't know. We'll see. Mr. Crawler Snipe, thank you, 43. Okay, I think we're loaded up. Go to flight tracking. No passengers or cargo. Sad face. Everything checks out. So what I haven't done, I haven't checked the actual takeoff runway that is in use. Best wind is 3-4. Okay. We shall take off on 3-4. Is what we shall do. Start tracking. Why did it make it super daylight? Even though I've got a 0-hour offset. Oh, I think I know why. Hang on, abort flight.
Flight aborted by user.
I think it's because, yeah, it keeps separate offsets for the company and yourself, frustratingly. So you have to remember to change it in both, effectively. 100% fuel, go and fly. KFLD. Flight tracking. There we go. D-Storm! 1,000 bits. Again, D-Storm, thank you very much for your support. Good morning to you. I hope you're well. There we go. So, anyway, Nut Slammer's going to be a little bit aggressive and weird today, but I'm going to I'm going to replace his brains this week completely, so next week's Nut Slammer should hopefully be a lot more friendly. So if you get purged for some random reason, just bear in mind it's because Nut Slammer's being weird. Right, I need to get the overhead lights on and stuff because I can't see a thing.
Engaging autopilot.
The button's here somewhere. Okay, now we can see what we're doing. Just going to give him a brain transplant, basically. That's what we're going to do. Okay, we're on local pressure. That's good. That's going to be on FMS. That's going to be on GPS. Is there something different better with Navigraph over SimBrief? Just wondering because one is paying, one is not. Well, like you say, well, Navigraph is a chart tool and also a data manager tool, so you can have it inject correct data into your sim, which supports like X-Plane, P3D, and the beta supports Microsoft Flight Sim. So, you know, like with Microsoft Flight Sim, you get the free AirAC data. It's free, but it's not terribly complete. I've noticed a lot of procedures are missing or inaccurate. Navigraph will inject the correct ones in. SimBrief is a planning tool, and it is completely free, but it has it's a nice interface, and it exports into lots of sims, the flight planning, but doesn't show you the charts, right? So Navigraph's more about charts, and SimBrief is more about the flight plan. But if you have a Navigraph account, it can link to SimBrief and inject it with the correct AIRAC data, because the problem with SimBrief is you need to have some kind of subscription to the correct AIRAC cycle.
Welcome back, Nutter.
Active flight plan, origin, KPWK. And we'll go with... does it want me to add an en route waypoint before the destination? Or, well, it shouldn't really matter. KFLD. Is Sunday Night Trucking coming back at some point, THU? I don't know. I'm enjoying Flight Sim. We shall see how things go. En route waypoint. I haven't made up any final decisions about anything. I'm just enjoying flying. KFLD. Right, we want to go to Pumpkin. And it's literally Pumpkin. PMPKN. Pumpkin. PMPKN. Pumpkin is 12 nautical miles. Sounds about right. You have your multi-prop licensing on there. I might pick up the Kinga. Flying trucks, best of both worlds. Matt, you get to see way more scenery. In trucking, we can fly bits of America and bits of Europe. Well, we can drive around that in a 120 scale. In this, we can fly 1-to-1 scale anywhere. So it does have that advantage. Ben R, just knock it off, bro. It's only going to go one way if you carry on. Neato, N-E-A-T-O. Neato. D-L-L-A-N. I'll have to have a look at the plan 1 second. Pumpkin, Neato, D-Land, that's good. Then up to Ronick. Which is correct. And then BAE. Former British Airways. BAE. It's going to be that one. Which is correct. And then, so that's that. Pretty much done. If we go to procedures. So your waypoints you find in SimBrief. You can use SimBrief. I used 4Flight. Like sometimes 4Flight, you know, 4Flight today, if I click on the routes tab there, it looks at routes and says, in fact, the second one down is the one I'm doing. It says flight level 30 cleared over a month ago. It's been flown 49 times by turboprops and pistons between 3,000 feet and flight level 220. So it's looking at like flights that people have done in real life recently, and it's showing me that information, and I just picked that route because it's obviously a real route that people use. You get it? Right, procedures. We want to go approach into 3.6 RNAV. Transition. I see. I knew it would make me pick this. I would prefer vectors to final, but it won't let me pick it, which is really annoying, because you'll see why. See? Triad is just stupid. Like, if you was flying this in real life, they wouldn't make you go to Triad. They'd just vector you straight. They'd just go direct Fondy. So now we've got to do this stupid 90-degree turn. But hey-ho, such is life. Oh my God, we're going to have the biggest taxi in the world. We've got to get down here. So we're going to have to taxi all the way down there. And then turn left. Oh well. Can you remove Triad? Well, it's part of the flight plan. If I click Triad, there's no there's no remove waypoint functionality. I mean, as we're flying along, in theory, I should be able to activate leg and go click on, when we pass BAE, I could try clicking Fondy and say activate leg and see what it does. But I've literally done that before, and things like that can crash the sim. It's a bit delicate in its flight plan. So, you know, do we want to risk that or just go out of our way a little bit? That's the question. It's not working in the King Air. It's a known issue. There you go. So for now, I'm tempted to just not bother with it and just suck it up and fly it. I can't see a thing outside. Okay, let's get a pushback here because we're going to need one. Beacon light can come on. Activate the waypoint was working for you yesterday in the TBM. Yeah, but this is the weird thing. In some planes, this stuff works. In others, it doesn't. Mr. Durker, mate, how you doing? 55 months. Paul, how's things? Hope you and the family well and safe. Big love, dude. Big love back. I am doing okay. Family's doing fine. No complaints here. Just ticking on. Hope life is good, sir. I think that should probably be enough. Yeah. Let's park it there. And Alpine Simon, some say it's been 20 months.
Oral warning, okay.
Oral warning, okay. Okay. Right, let's get this started. So, condition lever stuff, brake is set, beacon light is on, stuff is popping up for no reason. I don't know, Crawley. Some people, it's easier than others, right? Like anything.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Alright, 50% on the M1 starts coming off. And high idle. Is Elscone your airport? I just got a job in on there and it sounded familiar. Elscone's where I trained, but I don't fly there at the moment. And the reason I don't fly there at the moment is not because I don't like the place. It's a great place. It has great instructors, great airfield, but they only have one Cessna 172. And it's very difficult to try and get a booking on it. So I joined a group at North Wheel that has 4 Cessna 172s. And life is a lot easier. Durka, are you still here, sir? I wanted to ask you a question. Right, pizzo's coming on. We'll put the anti-ice into normal. Put the ignitions on into armed. Outside air temperature's 19, so we won't bother with the rest of the stuff. You are. I'm trying to remember, Brendan, what was your nearest airfield? Because at some point when the weather stops being really stupid, I was going to fly around and see you. So but I couldn't remember if it was like Red Hill or Biggin Hill. I can't remember. I wanted to start looking at the plan for it. Alright, taxi lights on, but you wouldn't be able to guess. Goodwood. Ah, right, yeah. So Goodwood looks like a very interesting airfield. It's a landing. Jeez, these screens are a bit bright. Let's see, displays. No, I'm thinking the live weather's broken because I'm 299 just seems rather convenient to me. Yeah, it should be 30.18. Few clouds at 800. Yep, the weather's broken. 100% the weather's broken. No, Crane, welcome, sir. Floodlights. You've only flown to Goodwood once, IRL, landed in a glider for an air show, seemed quite nice. Yeah, if I remember looking at the plate for it, it has quite a number of circuits depending on the runways in use, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, I think we're all set. We can do the rest of the stuff down when we stop. Let's get the track IR on. I think Goodwood will only take me about an hour to get to, Brendan, so in theory, like, I could fly down in the morning or something. And then we could fly somewhere. If you're up for it. It's quite busy airspace down there. But then pretty much anywhere around London's quite busy. Wonder why the weather's broken. I better not mess with it in case on starts freaking out. I'll have to restart the sim after this landing just to get the proper weather back. Had a fun bug this morning, loaded up Microsoft Flight Sim, only had 2 planes. What? That's so weird. They have good bacon rolls. Well, I mean, I went to Lid a couple of weeks ago, and the restaurant completely closed down because of COVID. The only thing they didn't even have sandwiches. The only thing they had was like dry foods. So you could buy, you know, you could buy a Snickers bar, or you could buy a little cake in a packet. That kind of thing. Like literally food that can stay on the shelf for weeks. And a cup of tea. They did cups of tea. But there was no kind of fresh food. You know, the restaurants are just shut. And then they have like an awkward one-way system where you come in one way, you have to go all the way through, come out the other. Like go in the toilets, you literally have to leave the building, then come back in. Go to the toilet and loop back. It's just so... The whole thing is just annoying.
Approaching runway 12.
Found the in-flight split flight, go back to the flight planning page. You have to use a taxi.
Remaining.
Yeah, I know. If live weather's broken, I'm restarting the sim. You sent me a friend request on Twitch. Unfortunately don't accept friend requests on Twitch. Firstly, there's literally no point. And secondly, I just don't.
Runway 06.
It's nothing personal. I just don't.
Runway 06. 24.
Have a link for your liveries. Yep. If you run the livery command, is it? Or liveries command? Take you to a folder. You'll find them in there. Rejected. You don't want to be my friend? Unfollowed. Alright. Let's get flaps into takeoff position. Trim is set. We need to set our altitude that we're going to cruise at. We're only going to go 100 nautical, so we'll just go... We're going west, aren't we? We'll go 6,000, that'll do. put the flight directors on. We'll go into nav mode. And V-speed, and we'll climb out at 1500. That will be fine. And we're looking at a climbing right turn. 3-4, right turn to pick up Pumpkin. There's nothing else I've forgotten. Let's go flying. Condition leaves all forward. Underlights coming on, navs and strobes going on.
Approaching runway 34.
Well, a packet of nuts
Runway
persuade me to
34,
become friends.
1,494 meters remaining. Approaching runway 06, 24. Runway 06,
So slow to get going
24.
this thing. Anyway, power set. Speed's building.
Approaching runway 1230.
And we're up. Gears coming up.
Level time logged.
Flaps coming up now. Cool. Hey, Muffins. Benna gifted a sub to Muffins. Thank you very much, Benna. Infernal, how you doing? Hello from Moscow. And Bennett also gifted a sub to Spins and Wheelies, who now has 2-year Golden Acorn. Thank you, Bennett. Wait, Captain Flint, are you in Moscow as well? That's so random. That's where we are at the moment. Difference between On Air and FSE. Quite a lot. But the most notable change is On Air is paid for. FSE is free. And FSE is still not accepting applications, so that's a problem if you've not got one, an account. GTB True, thank you for 70 months, sir. That is some rather nice lighting. FSC are accepting new applications from today. Is it automated now, Black Falcon? Have they cracked that nut? It's just vanilla. Ed Hoops, I don't have any mods to change lighting and stuff. That is pure vanilla. Nice beard. Thank you, Sammy. Let's see how we're going on here. Coming up on 6,000. Arm of approach. We need to be at Fondy at 2,700. According to the chart. Why does it need an approval process? Because they, for some reason, you have an account on the website and then you have an account in the game world. The two are not the same thing. So the one that you log in and can use the forum with is different to the one that you log into the game world with. And that connection between the two had a manual approval process. So you'd create your website account and then you'd literally apply on the forum to have your game world account created. They would have to manually create your game world account in the database and then tell you what the details are. And they never bothered to automate it. And that's what has really caught them out when they had a massive influx of people when Microsoft Flight Sim came out. So because they got completely backlogged with game world creations, which required a manual process to do, they took the decision to block all new game world creations, and it's run for about 2 or 3 weeks now while they automate that. It's a very odd system. I don't know why they chose to do it that way, but it worked while the numbers were steady and slow. It worked. When Microsoft Flight Sim came out, it was like a tidal wave just hit them. So if I have a quick look at the plate, and bearing in mind we're going to come in from Triad, which is here. There's Triad there. And it basically says 2,700 at Triad and then Fondy there before we start our descent. Airport elevation's 808 and then the minimum is going to be 1280. So we just need to plan to get down to 2,700 basically. And then we'll have to slow right down otherwise. Because we're going to make a dog left turn at Triad and then a dog right turn at Fondy. We're pretty much going to have to be, 180 knots or something by the time we get to Triad. So yeah, we only have to lose like 3,000 feet. It's nothing really, but we have to slow down quite a bit as well. So I'd say 12 nautical out from Triad when we get to it. 12 nautical from Triad, we'll just start going down and then we'll slow down. And that should do us. Meanwhile, we can watch the sunrise. You can't say this sim is not beautiful. That's the one thing you can't say. If one doesn't use ATC, how does one know the cruise altitude? There's no hard and fast rule over it. To get it correct, you'd have to look at the airspace, but if you was to use something like SimBrief, it will pretty much tell you what flight level to fly at. Generally speaking, it's governed by a few things: airspace, airways, and the wind. A lot of it's automated now, though. You're about 300 miles east of where you live. Nice. Wow. You live not far away from a very big lake. That might as well be a sea. That's so big. Yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. Aircraft performance. Well, Langerveld, this is the advantage of not being like a hardcore tube liner, is you get to see some great scenery when you fly lower down. On the other hand, only flying airliners in P3D means you see less of the terrible scenery. That is very true. I think that's why traditionally people have flown that. You know, because frankly, the scenery was not amazing. So why would why would you fly low down when you can fly high up? I don't know. I'll have to change the procedure. Because that is actually what Microsoft Flight Sim's going to be doing. So after BAE, we'll look at our descent point into Triad. Oh, the sun's just coming up. I just caught a glimmer of it, like, right there. Crazy Matter, thank you for 2 months. Beautiful. Lovely, isn't it? Lifetime. Wish we had live weather, but I'll take it. You tried to fly the Caravan today to get used to it for the group flight. It is so manual after the TBM. You can fly the TBM if you want to. Just bear in mind the TBM can go a lot quicker than the Caravan. I'm flying the Caravan because it's like fairly quick, but it's still a slow plane. What I don't want to do is fly around in the TBM because it's just such a quick plane. I'll leave people behind. But you could easily fly the TBM. Sunrise is 6:52. Yes, but you have to remember that's at ground level. When you're elevated, you see the sun earlier. Have you played DCS? Do you like it? Yeah. I've got quite a few modules on DCS. Done quite a few A10 runs. I like the hue in the A10. I think they just updated the A10 though. Morning, dear. Cool. This is Squirrel's woke up. She was asleep on the sofa when I started streaming. Hey? Alright, got it. Crazy coconut, I got it. You played it back when it was still called Lock On Modern Air Combat. That's going back. Any fixes for crashes? I was plagued by crashes about, was it last week or the week before? I think it was a Saturday and my sim was crashing a lot. It crashed like 4 times and took the stream with it twice. And I reinstalled the Visual C++ runtime libraries for Windows 10. And then I checked the integrity of Microsoft Flight Sim in the Windows App Store. And after that, I was working stable. However, I'm not running spad.next. But I don't see why spad.next would cause it, but that's the one thing that is not the same. I don't know, Gingerbread. I mean, it's kind of hard to answer that question. Because I'm no weather expert and I don't know what detail they went into it. But I have seen some rather interesting cloud formations in the sim. Been running spad.next fine. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Perrin, I'm not saying that the crashes were caused by spad. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is the one thing that I haven't turned back on is spad.next. Nike Tiger, 23 months. Is that a new chat font and name codes I see? So it is a new chat font. It's a new display. Completely different technology displaying that chat. And there's no longer custom chat color. Right, we're just past BAE, so I need to get with the plot now. Because Triad is coming up. Triad is 25 nautical. I think we said descend at 12. We'll set the altitude down to 2700. This is what we're looking for. That's not a rubbish view. I think we need to get that. Yeah, we need to keep that one. I wish this pop-up menu thing behaved a bit differently. Every time I move the mouse up to go to the like top monitor, it pings up and it's annoying. I use a tool called ShareX, Larry. What does the mod do, Perrin? Nope, there's no wind indicator shown in this plane. I don't know if that's just a bug or was never intended to be a feature, but you can't display it. It's more of an arcade game, XY. It was never meant to be like a hardcore sim. Only activate the menu when you go to the top. Maybe not what you wanted. Hides the menu arrow. Hmm. Firefighting would be a fun mini-game career if they model fires. What, as in flying a plane with full of water and trying to put the fires out? I kind of think that they should do that in DCS. Like, take some big military planes up and drop loads of water on fires.
Destination ASOS is 134.0.
You watch how much it's going to overshoot Triad. It's going to be like, "Wah." Neofly is just for bush flying. Yeah, I think so. I've heard about Neofly. Has anybody tried it? Petmel, thank you, sir. Jesse Juice, thank you very much. Right, we've hit 2700. We're doing 180, which is where we wanted to be, and we're 2 miles away from Triad. Life is good. Neofly is great early in development, but it has great promise. So what exactly do you do in Neofly? You know, as like a one-sentence explanation of what you do. Watch the stream if it has a few bugs with positioning of destinations, which I'm sure they'll fix, but otherwise it seems neat. I did not download Navigraph Navdata. There's a beta for it, isn't there, Rocco? But I haven't looked into how to download it yet. I take it I just go to the website and download the beta client or something. and then tell it where Microsoft Flight Sim is. Of course I know who Lando Norris is, good grief. Bush flying includes jobs that tell you to land within 2 nautical miles of a random point in the world. You deliver parcels, emergency, medics, all sorts of things, often landing in fields instead of airports. That actually sounds quite fun. Right, I'm just going to check the chart here. 2700. So we begin our descent at Fondy, which is interesting because we're coming at Fondy at 90 degrees. So I think I'm going to get the gear down before we get there. And possibly, yeah, we'll go flaps 1 before we get to Fondy, I think. Drop the gear. 3 greens. And we'll wait. We'll go flaps 1 just before we turn. It's 5 AM in California and we still have people in chats from Cali. It's crazy, isn't it? But some people work night shifts and some people go to bed at strange hours. There's a button on the Navgraph page that takes you to the beta forum and the installer is pinned to the top. It takes maybe 30 seconds. What did it give you? Did it give you like better procedure data? Yep, they're a bunch of nutters, Hannah, but we know that. Neo flies randomly generated missions. It has a dispatcher voiceover and sounds for people and cargo being loaded. That sounds quite cool. Right, let's go flaps 1. Wow, there's a lot of wind turbines kicking around. Why are there so many just random wind turbines here? It's crazy. Completely overshot the turn. Free Jamvol. Be good to enjoy the flight sim content on a stormy weekend like this. Dude, the weather is just nuts. Let's just keep the speed up for now. Because it's flat and windy. Fair play? Lol dingo. So you can use the A5 and land. That's interesting. A little bit low on the profile, so I'm just going to back off on the descent right. I don't know if the on-air subscription ever goes on discount. I do not know. I don't think it's been out long enough for that to happen. Go into the butcher's to pick up your order from the Amazon locker style cooled pickup thingy. Oh boy, technology. Have you ever been into Civilization series? I was when I was into Civ 1 massively. Civ 1 at the time was like the best game I ever played. Civ 2 was fun, and then I think I jumped to Civ 5 after that, but didn't play Civ 5 that much. Right. Let's go second stage. Navigraph beta includes basically every current nav aid and every procedure. Here, yet to find a SID Start app that wasn't in the sim. Little bugs here and there, waypoints will flicker on the G1000, but overall great upgrade. Interesting. So I'll fire up my current, what, Navigraph or FMS Data Manager, and that'll take me to the website. It's a separate app. Oh, right. So does it replace your current one? Right, autopilot, your damper turned off. Separate from the FMS Data Manager. But I thought you said you fire up the app to get a link to the website. Oh, ShareX is amazing, Larry. You just wait till you finish configuring it. You just watch and see how long this plane floats for. It's insane. Oh my god, there's a pole? Did you see that pole?
50, 40, 30,
it's floating, it's floating.
retard,
Oh
retard,
boy, it's floating.
retard.
Landing time logged. Landed at Kilo Fox Lima Delta.
Captain Flint,
on
thank you very
Lima
much.
County.
Approaching runway 27.
Oh man, just missed the turn-off point as well. Look at that. Sorry, we can go this way, I think.
Runway 27. 1,006 meters remaining.
That thing had a real good float. Ooh. Yeah, what was that pole though on finally? It's like a massive thing just stood there. You can't possibly want me to come in that way. That doesn't make any sense, mate. Engel Tinker, thank you for 3 years. Happy anniversary.
Welcome back, Nata.
Look at this guy's like facing. He's not even turning around. He's like, nope, cold shoulder. If you don't park where I'll tell you to, I'm not listening. Brilliant. Right, taxi lights. Clean up the flaps.
Engine off, time logged. End of flight, registered in on-air company.
Engine audio's been a bit weird. It chucks a nav data folder in your community folder. Is that what it does? I need to restart the sim. Might as well do that now. This live weather's broken. Cats, if they don't expect that sound to work next week, though. One Slenderman, 57 months. Oh, I've still got my Uplay open. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Finally, we can do the final leg of this job. Enough fuel for 721. That's more than fine. Yes, apparently FS Economy is accepting applications again. Okay, FLD. CYZE. Jensk. Group flight looks ace. Well, we'll see. I think, you know, with Japan, you never know what the weather's going to do. Oh, look how much the fuel is here. I so should have refueled here. That is ridiculous. I might just load up. Let's just get it all in there. We got loads of room. Dirt cheap fuel. Let's go for it. $3.78 a gallon. Honestly, that is really close to the wholesale price. Yeah, I should do Floating Fat Man. Well, if the weather goes, if the weather goes nasty in Japan, we'll just have to take a view on it, you know. Fix the weather if it's too much. Like, I really want to see all the scenery. Live, live, live. Go via TVC. TVC, then APN, and then we'll pick a procedure based on the weather. What would be the best route to fly with the King Air to go from Europe to North America? Blimey, I don't know. Whenever I've seen it done before, because there was who was that YouTuber who did it? You go in via like Iceland and Greenland and come in down Scotland. You come in that way. I mean, a lot of it is pretty boring. That's the thing. The weather is the biggest problem up there, you know? Trying to predict the weather. Like the video I watched, he got pretty caught out by the weather at one point. Yeah, I remember Fun for Lewis did it. Fun for Lewis did it with the other guy who was a pilot. There was another YouTuber. I've seen 3 different people do it. There was another YouTuber who's quite reckless, who I'm not going to name. He did it. And then there was another one who did it in a... He had a rep from Diamond, I think, and they did it in a Diamond DA42, a brand new one. And they did it properly. Like with all the, you know, right equipment and stuff. Right, flight tracking. Right, so that is the new flight plan. We'll see what the weather's doing when we get there. So 27 is the best wind for takeoff.
Engaging autopilot.
Cool, we've got live weather. Have you watched Pilot Emily on YouTube? I don't know if I've watched much now from Pilot Emily. Let's see what it's got. Cool, it's already got it loaded in, so we don't need to worry about that. And we'll do the procedure later. Oh wow, 27s. Look at that. We just got to literally taxi to here and take off out of 27. Bonus. Right, altitude. I think we should go fairly high today. Let's go 2-3. The music in most of Flight Sim isn't bad. It's alright. You can't really expect fantastic music out of a Flight Sim. I'd say that's definitely a bonus. Yeah, it puts that little light. The center one puts that little light on there, which I quite like. Let's see where we are. It's such a weird parking spot. Like, if that guy wasn't there, we could just move ourselves, but I guess we're going to have to get a taxi. He's not even looking where he's going. This guy is completely reckless. Dude, sit around. That's amazing. He's so skilled. There you go. You go back to your doing what you was doing.
Oral warning, okay.
Let's see what we've got. Right, beacon lights on. Yeah, he's been doing the job so long. He's like, I could do this with my eyes closed. Come to think of it, let's try.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Barry M, thank you for 3 months. How is the Kingo this patch? Some people were saying that the Kingo was totally broken this patch with its altitude hold. I've not had one problem with its altitude hold right now. Although I'm using V-speed to get there, not FLC mode, so maybe that's the thing. FLC works great for you. I did it once yesterday and it looked a bit scary, so I turned it off. But everything else is working okay for me. Right, we're tracking in on her. Can't really get that guy out of the way. I wish there was a way of dismissing the ground crew. Like just saying, just an option you could say dismiss ground crew and you would just go away. That would be so useful. No, I've not got any SID. If I looked on, when I looked on 4Flight, there was no departure procedure, I don't think. I'll have a quick look again. But...
Approaching runway 27.
When I clicked on procedure there, the only thing it shows me is the procedure advisor for the approach. Which is a bit weird. So KFLD. Just doesn't have anything. It only has approaches. So that's that. So what we'll do is we'll do a climbing right turn and pick up our climbing right turn, and we'll pick up our nav that way. Okay, trim set's all good. Landings, nav and strobes can come on.
Approaching runway 27. Runway 27, 1,067 meters remaining.
1,000-meter runway.
Runway 18, 36.
1,000-meter runway.
Entered runway
This should be
18,
fun.
36.
Fully loaded with fuel as well. Like fully loaded with fuel. Right, max power. Here we go. And I can see some trees at the end. This is going to be a very interesting takeoff. Holy smoke, we're almost out of runway. Oh, it feels heavy.
Time locked.
Up you come. That was only just enough runway. Honestly, the bird feels so heavy right now. Okay, flaps are up. It's nice actually having live weather again. Okay, you're done, but autopilot's on. Forgot to drink this cup of tea. Oh. That's below my minimums. Redonkulous Dave, thank you for 27 months, sir. Has anyone here managed to install and get Microsoft Flight Sim running on an SSD? I've Windows installed on a hard drive and another SSD. All of mine runs on NVMe and SSD. You just had your FS Economy account approved. How long did it take?